Yo, 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 FactFlow fam, we're back, and things just got real interesting in the world's largest democracy. India, the land of Bollywood, butter chicken, and billions of voters, just threw a massive curveball in their 2024 elections. The BJP, after a decade of calling the shots, found out the hard way that even in politics, nothing lasts forever. Think about it. 10 years is a long time. That's like 2 whole seasons of Game of Thrones. Except instead of dragons and White Walkers, you have economic policies and international relations. And after a while, even the most die-hard fans start to wonder, okay, what's next? That's what we're diving into today, people. Why did the BJP lose their grip on power? Was it the economy, social unrest, or did they just forget to renew their subscription to winning elections monthly? Let's break it down. So imagine you're hosting a house party. You've got the snacks, the music, the whole 9 yards. But after 10 years, your guests might start getting a little, shall we say, over it. The novelty wears off. They start noticing the cracks in the walls, the fact that you haven't changed the playlist in, well, a decade. That's kind of what happened to the BJP. After 10 years, those achy din promises? Yeah, people were still waiting for those good days to arrive. And when you've been in charge for that long, any problem, from potholes to price hikes, gets added to your tab. It's like that one friend who never throws out the trash. At first it's cool, you deal with it. But after a decade, you're ready to nominate them for that reality show, Get This Friend a Dumpster. And let's be real, no government is perfect. They all make mistakes. It's just that when you're in power for a while, those mistakes start to pile up higher than a stack of samosas at a Diwali party. The BJP, despite their best efforts, couldn't escape the anti-incumbency monster lurking under the bed. It's a tale as old as time, or at least as old as democracy.
Remember that whole "it's the economy" stupid thing? Turns out voters haven't forgotten. When people are struggling to put food on the table, when the price of onions becomes national news, they start looking for someone to blame. And that someone is usually the party in power. India's economic engine, while still a beast, wasn't exactly roaring like a Bollywood love song in recent years. Unemployment was a major concern, especially among the youth. Inflation? Don't even get me started. Trying to buy groceries felt like negotiating a peace treaty. And look, I'm no economist, I just play one on YouTube. But even I can tell you that when people are worried about their wallets, they're less likely to be swayed by promises of a brighter future. It's like that friend who keeps borrowing money but never pays you back. Sure, they're your friend, but after a while, you start screening their calls. The BJP's economic record was a mixed bag, and unfortunately for them, voters focused on the empty side of the bag.
Now let's talk about the elephant, or should I say, the bull in the room, the farmer protests. For over a year, farmers across India took to the streets protesting against new agricultural laws. They blocked highways, camped out for months, and made their voices heard loud and clear. Now, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of agricultural policy because honestly, I'm more of a pizza and takeout kind of guy. But what I can tell you is that these protests were a huge deal. Imagine millions of people, the backbone of your country, saying, nah, fam, we're not down with this. That's not exactly a ringing endorsement of your policies. The protests chipped away at the BJP's image, particularly in rural areas. It showed that even a party with a strong majority could be challenged by a determined and united front. The farmers, with their tractors and their tenacity, sent a clear message. Don't mess with the people who feed you.
India, as we all know, is a melting pot of cultures, religions, and languages. It's like a giant, delicious biryani, with each ingredient adding its own unique flavor. But like any good biryani, it needs to be balanced. The BJP's focus on Hindu nationalism, while appealing to some, alienated others. India's diversity is its strength, but it can also be a point of tension. Policies seen as discriminatory towards minorities, attacks on freedom of speech, and rising religious intolerance all contributed to a sense of unease among certain sections of society. It's like that friend who only wants to eat at the same restaurant, every single time. Sure, they have their favorites, but variety is the spice of life, my friend. The BJP's handling of social issues, for many, left a bad taste in their mouths.
Politics is a lot like a game of chess, except instead of horses and bishops, you have regional parties and coalition partners. And just like in chess, one wrong move can cost you the game. The BJP, while a powerful force on its own, relied on alliances to maintain its grip on power. But these alliances weren't always smooth sailing. Internal squabbles, conflicting interests, and good old-fashioned power struggles created cracks in the NDA's armor. It's like that group project in school where everyone has a different idea and no one wants to do the actual work. The BJP's inability to manage its alliance partners effectively came back to bite them in the ballot box.
While the BJP and Congress are like the two big Bollywood studios, don't underestimate the power of the independent filmmakers, the regional parties. These parties, with their deep roots in their respective states, played a crucial role in the 2024 elections. They understood the local issues, they spoke the language of the people, and they offered an alternative to the national parties. It's like, if you're craving a dosa, you're not going to go to a sushi restaurant, right? You go to the place that specializes in dosas. The regional parties, with their local flavor, proved to be a formidable force, splitting the vote and weakening the BJP's stronghold.
Even the best players need a good coach, and even the most popular parties need a solid campaign strategy. The BJP's campaign, while slick and well-funded, seemed to lack a certain je ne sais quoi. Some analysts argued that they relied too heavily on Modi's charisma and didn't offer concrete solutions to the problems facing the country. Others felt that they focused too much on attacking the opposition and not enough on highlighting their own achievements. It's like going to a stand-up comedy show and all the comedian does is make fun of the audience. Sure, it's funny for a minute, but eventually you're like, all right, tell me a joke already. The BJP's campaign, despite its grand scale, failed to resonate with enough voters.
Remember that scene in Avengers Endgame where all the superheroes team up to fight Thanos? Well, the 2024 elections had a similar vibe, with opposition parties putting aside their differences to take on the BJP. They knew that united they stand, divided they fall, and while their alliance was far from perfect, it was enough to chip away at the BJP's vote share. It's like that time you and your siblings actually agreed on something, like, for once. The opposition's unity, however fragile, sent a powerful message to voters. There's an alternative.
The pandemic. Just when you thought it was safe to go back outside, the aftershocks hit. The COVID-19 pandemic had a profound impact on India, both in terms of health and economics. The government's handling of the pandemic, while praised in some quarters, was also criticized for its initial slow response, the devastating second wave, and the economic hardship it caused. It's like that friend who throws a party during a pandemic and then acts surprised when everyone gets sick. The pandemic cast a long shadow over the 2024 elections, with voters remembering the hardships they endured.
All politics is local, or so the saying goes, and in a country as vast and diverse as India, local issues can make or break an election. From water scarcity to lack of infrastructure, from unemployment to crime, local grievances played a significant role in shaping the outcome of the 2024 elections. It's like that pothole on your street that you've been complaining about for years. Eventually, you're just going to vote for whoever promises to fix it, even if it's the guy who delivers your pizza. The BJP, despite its national appeal, failed to address these local concerns effectively, leading to their downfall in key constituencies.
So there you have it, folks. The Indian elections, a roller coaster ride of political drama, unexpected twists, and enough analysis to make your head spin. But hey, that's democracy for you. It's messy, it's unpredictable, and sometimes it's downright hilarious. But it's also a reminder that every vote counts and that even the most powerful parties can be held accountable. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Indian elections, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to FactFlow for more insightful and entertaining political analysis. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay woke.